That's pretty funny, and sadly, it isn't untrue. That would be the re-elected bozo Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford, on the bottom right. And you couldn't find a less fiscally responsible person if you tried. No, congratulations to him for being re-elected yesterday. But we're here on O'Connor Drive, and that's the intersection of O'Connor and Pape. And hey there, today is Friday, February 28th. It is 11:41 a.m. and the temperature is about -1 degree Celsius, which means some ice has started to reform on the sidewalk. So it does require some care walking around right now. And in this one, I'm going to be making my way south down through Pape Village, an area that has been rather devastated by the construction of the Ontario line, or I guess more specifically, by the practices in place by Metrolinx, where the provincial transit agency tasked with overseeing construction of the Ontario line, a 15-stop subway that will run through this part. They're currently in the process of working on tunneling underneath Pape Avenue, or at least they're preparing for it. There'll be a 3-kilometer tunnel under this section from Gerrard up to the Don Valley. And a number of homeowners in the area have been given the boot and had their homes expropriated for construction. That goes with the territory of this type of infrastructure project. I have no problem with that as long as everyone is fairly compensated. But unfortunately, that hasn't been the case with a lot of the businesses in Pape Village. And we're going to get a look firsthand at some of the devastation in a few blocks. And it's worth noting we're in the former borough of East York right now. There's the East York Community Rec Center. And Pape Village is a designated business improvement area. And it starts just south of here. And it runs south for several blocks. It doesn't make it all the way down into Greektown. This is a predominantly low-rise area. There's some apartments along Cosburn, but it's mostly single-family dwellings in this area. And you can see some of the construction up ahead. It's mostly impacting businesses on the west side of Pape. We'll see if we can get over there and take a close look at what's going on. But Metrolinx is the same transit authority tasked with building the Crosstown LRT up near where I live on Eglinton. That was supposed to open in 2020, and construction began in 2011 for what is essentially a glorified underground streetcar. And there is still no opening date announced here in 2025. And that's a project that's seen dozens and dozens of businesses go under. To due to their construction blocking off or restricting access or outright kicking them out of their spots. This is a really popular neighborhood spot, Cafe Serrano. You can see the sign there, Pape Village. And one of the key points of contention is that Metrolinx doesn't provide fair compensation for the reduced business, or in the case when businesses are forced out, they're not provided the necessary funds to relocate. There's an entire block that's been boarded up. This is Pape Avenue, so a subway station will be going in right here. There'll be another subway station just to the south of here at Pape, well, one that connects to the existing station at Pape. There is an entire block gone for a subway station. Also looks like some apartments were lost. And a number of business owners are on record stating business is down over 50% for the ones that are allowed to stay open. And they haven't been compensated anything near what it would take to make up that shortfall. There's a store, Philo Cafe. They have relocated to 920 Pape. I've seen entire subway projects get built over the span of 4 or 5 years. When I lived in Seoul, in a vastly more complex infrastructure where they didn't have to do this sort of thing. There's minimal disruption at street level, certainly not entire blocks being expropriated. But Metrolinx doesn't exactly have a penchant for good land use. If you look along the crosstown LRT, a lot of buildings featuring apartments and businesses were lost and replaced by rather large single-story entrances to LRT stations. In most cities, subway stations going in developed areas really just incorporate into an existing business with an entrance or building, or a staircase pops up out of the sidewalk. That store on the corner there, 1000 Variety, is open. But how do you get there? And apparently what Metrolinx offered was to put these signs up along the construction boarding here. So that's pretty much a death sentence for those businesses. Oops. Things seem relatively unscathed on the east side. I think the stretch between Floyd and Cosburn bears most of the brunt of the construction disruption. If you live in the area, At least there's some businesses left for you to support. There's a barber shop. Storefront for rent. Greek World. I read about this one and this one in a few articles online. I think the business operators are being quite vocal about the reduction in business they've received, which again, if this is what Metrolinx has to do, or rather the private construction companies they've hired has to do, that's all well and good, but I don't think these people's livelihoods should have to suffer because of it. It's just a matter of fairly compensating them. And Metrolinx is on record saying they do it on a case-by-case basis. So there's no public information you could look up. Just see what they could expect to be compensated by. Just looked it up. Metrolinx says we work directly with the business community to provide customized supports, which includes making sure storefronts are clear and easy to access. Well, I wouldn't say those storefronts were clear or easy to access. As well as providing financial support through the local BIAs. That guy went right up on that snowbank there. Is Floyd Avenue, so we're going to continue and go down to Danforth, and I can show you another stretch that's been impacted. I think the homeowners were somewhat fairly compensated. I think they were at least given market value plus moving expenses for their homes. I think anyone within 30 meters of a designated corridor could see their property get snatched up. I think the Ontario line is projected to open around 2031. If everything goes to plan. But given that line 6 on Finch and line 5 are both years and years late and well over budget, I don't think we'll be seeing this one open up anywhere near 2031. Oh, and the Philo Cafe we saw with a sign north of here saying they're moving. There's their new location. I imagine as they tunnel under this area, we'll start to see disruptions at street level. Come and go. There was a KFC a few blocks south of here that was closed down as its property was expropriated for Ontario Line construction. We'll walk by that site. Centennial College is just over there. that the TTC, the Toronto Transit Commission, built its own subway lines. The York University subway extension was panned for being late and over budget, but that one was only 2 years over budget, and that's an actual subway. We'll let this guy back in. I don't think he was going to wait for me anyways. As we go by King's Drive-In. Currently, this stretch is served by a 72 Pape bus. And apparently the name of the construction consortium is called Connect 6, stupidly spelled with the number 6, IX. I think that consists of 6 different private companies tasked with building as well as maintaining the Ontario line for a period of 30 years. Goat Coffee. I think this is the site where the KFC was. That's a Metrolinx staging site for something. Looks like they're excavating. Some more businesses impacted. Another location of Toronto. Apparently we might be getting some snow later this afternoon. Careful, there's been a few instances this year already of people getting hit by heavy construction vehicles. And this is what I meant at the start of the video when I said a lot of the sidewalks were covered in ice. Pape is pretty good because I'm on a main street, but you got to be really careful when the weather dips below zero and it's wet outside. That sounded like an accident. Just heard a horn honking. Oh, the bus didn't put its four-ways on. Maybe that was just the sound of someone slamming on their brakes or being one of these icy snowbanks. Oh, I think a vehicle just swerved in front of the bus. Or swerved into the bus. And here comes an officer who was probably on duty watching a construction site up ahead.
It sounded like a car. Yeah, when you look over, oh, it's like, there's a bunch. Like, oh, that's a car. Make sure. Okay. Yeah, everyone looks okay.
Maybe the car was.
They're speculating as to what might have happened. Well, that's going to cause a snag along Pape Avenue. I think if that white car is still drivable, it needs to get over to the side more. It's going to cause quite the bottleneck. There's more Metrolinx construction. In fact, the bus bays at Pape Station, which serves Line 2, have been closed. Which is nice, kicking everyone onto the street for the winter. Hopefully, it's not like this next winter. Used to be able to walk through here over to Langley. There's another entrance to Pape Station. We're going to head over to that one. There's Suvlike. It's an excellent Greek spot. Made it to Pape and Danforth. However, much of this entire block to the left has been closed. And buildings with a lot of businesses and apartments up top were demolished for what else but more construction. Likely spam. I won't be answering that call. This entire area is going to feel noisy. For quite some time. There's someone complaining about it. For the longest time, they just had an officer manning this area here for you to cross, but then they installed a crosswalk. And now they've got a person back again, even though the crosswalk is still here. Maybe that's just for busy periods of the day. The Ontario line is coming. Just not in your lifetime. To Pape Station. I'm going to head down and hop on an eastbound train. This entrance here is kind of notorious for people not paying their fare, just walking right through the gates. And at times you'll see people kind of passed out in the stairwells here. I know some people who live in the area and they say they feel kind of unsafe coming through here sometimes.
How to keep the TTC safe. Report any suspicious activity to a member of staff or a police officer. If you see something, say something.
It's not uncommon to come around the corner here and just find someone sleeping on the steps. that is it for Pape Village. I hope you enjoyed it. Do let me know your thoughts and comments down below if you wish to support what I do. There's links to my Patreon and YouTube channel membership down in the description, as we can see a glint of light from the approaching train. That would be at Dawnland Station. And if you wish to support what I do, I forgot if I already said this part, I'm very much out of it. There's links to Patreon and YouTube channel membership down in the description, and there's a super thanks button appearing down below if you wish to say thanks that way. Anywho, I'm gonna put my stuff away and catch this train, so thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Yoink!